Welcome guys to this week's LPT Live. This week I'm going to be talking about how to create unshakable confidence. And this is something that I wanted to address because a few people who come into the group and answer the questions, a few people have mentioned that, and I've had a few conversations around that recently. So it's something I thought was important to cover because there's a lot of other things going on. You know, we talk about confidence, but there's a lot of other sort of insights and awarenesses I can bring to this. And firstly, what I want to talk about is I want to get a bit of a higher perspective on confidence itself, because, you know, getting a bit of a bigger picture on this is going to help us, because really understanding ourselves and others in the respect of confidence is, you know, it's going to be a powerful thing to do, because a lot of the time when we think we lack confidence, we often look at others, we often think that everyone else is confident, but, you know, not everyone has got everything figured out. We're all on this journey of personal growth, whether you're actively in personal growth or you're just, you know, actively going through life. You know, we're all on this journey of trying to figure things out. So everyone has things going on. So, you know, it helps us to have a level of self-acceptance when we understand that, you know, everyone else hasn't got everything figured out. You know, everyone is dealing with something or has gone through something in itself. But, you know, yes, this leads us to a level of self-acceptance, but we also have to reflect on ourselves, because our self-talk, you know, if we're having negative self-talk about ourselves, I talk about this a lot, then this is gonna indicate our perception of ourselves. So it's really about getting this balance of self-talk versus a level of self-reflection, where we're looking at ourselves in a way of not beating ourselves up, but looking at ourselves honestly and looking at the things that we can improve, and that's having a difference. So, but going back to the foundations of our inner dialogue is always going to be a powerful place to start, to bring up some awarenesses of this lack of confidence, because, you know, it starts from within. Inner world creates our outer world. So it's really good to have that understanding. The next awareness I want to talk about, this higher level of awareness, is understanding life, because sometimes life can seem very difficult. It seems like it might be beating us up, but, you know, when we need to recontextualize this, because having a higher perspective on life and why we're here, and having our view on life and the reasons things happen, is we want to shift that to a more empowering place, because ultimately, you know, when these things happen in life, you know, it can feel like it takes our confidence, but we want to recontextualize it and view things in a way that is empowering, and view these different life situations, these perceived challenges, rather than looking at everything as a problem, having less of a victim mindset, looking at it in a more powered, self-responsible way, looking at it as a way of how can I grow? What can I learn from this? What sort of lesson is this? And looking at everything as life as a growth-centric experience. And if we look at it in this way, then we can empower ourselves not to let life beat us up and take our confidence effectively, because we're shifting to a higher level, a much more empowering level of perspective, and this is basically what we want to do. So let's move on to how to create confidence. We can create confidence virtually instantaneously by understanding a few principles, and this is a bit more advanced. This is what I call state management, and there's three aspects to state management. And this is understanding that the first one is our physiology. I've spoken about this before. By shifting our physiology, I mean, for confidence, for example, we know that if we take a deep breath in, and we're with our breath, we're more open, we're more wide, we're speaking in a way that is more confident. You know, it's going to facilitate the more confidence within us, because changing our physiology, we can shift our neurobiology and basically change how we feel. And, you know, this is something that we can actively do to change our confidence, our physiology. Also, like I mentioned, our inner dialogue, our self-talk. If we're going into a situation and we're having this negative self-talk, then obviously that's not going to empower us. So having a more of a positive self-talk, and this links into the third thing, which is our self-belief about us, about the situation. If you use these three things, it can shift your state in a positive way that sets you up to win. It sets you up and you can use this, you can go into more advanced techniques for this and actually tailor this more to the specific situation that you're going to go into, and use the physiology, the inner dialogue, and the self-belief. Use these three things. Take 10 minutes before you're going to do something like a presentation and change your state, taking personal responsibility, taking a level of action and shifting your state effectively to be more confident. And in doing this, we feel more confident, we're going to act more confident. Then the result of what we're doing, we will probably come across more confident. And in that way, that gives us feedback to refer to, something to refer to, where we can see, what we've done. We can see that the fact that, it increases our self-belief effectively. It's another thing that reaffirms this new level of self-identity. But I want to talk about focus, because focus is very important, because like what I talked about with the inner dialogue, is that the fact that our focus steers our mind. And like I spoke about before, is that questions are the steering wheel of the mind. So if we ask ourselves a question, why can't I do this? And we have this sort of negative self-dialogue, then our brain is going to give us an answer that is probably not going to be preferable if it's a negative based question. So, questions are the steering wheel of the mind. So where we're focusing, where focus goes, energy flows. So steering our mind in a way to have more empowering questions. How can I do this? More of a positive attitude to do this, and more of a positive self-dialogue. And this is going to serve us in shifting our beliefs, in shifting our inner dialogue. And, that in itself is going to increase our confidence. But one thing I also want to talk about is having a level of clarity of our mission or our purpose or our direction in life is also going to help our confidence. Because, for example, if where our mission is to do something that involves speaking in front of people. Let's use that as an example, because many people fear public speaking, and that's somewhere that, a lot of people might want to increase their level of confidence. But if you're clear on yourself, you're clear on your values, you're clear on your mission, why you're here, what you're doing, then that in itself will give you a level of increased confidence into why you're doing something, because you will have that level of clarity. Getting clarity on your mission, on your purpose, is going to help your level of confidence. And also with doing that, a lot of the time we lack confidence because we might be doing something, but we might care too much about what other people think. Again, I'll use the public speaking example. Caring what other people think when we're delivering a presentation or something like that. But if you go down to the fundamentals, that your mission is to do this, you're providing value, you're doing something that means that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, and you're living your life's mission effectively, then you're going to care less what people think, because it's coming from this inner place. It's coming from this place of knowing who you are and acting as an authentic expression of that. So this leads me very nicely on to taking action, because ultimately taking action, doing something in the direction that is going to lead to increased confidence, is going to serve you, because it gives you a reference point, and you're creating habits. You're doing something, you're deciding that this is what I need to do, and then you're acting on that. And that in itself is reaffirming to yourself that you are someone that lives you're doing what you say. And in doing that, then again, you're reaffirming your new self-image, that you're taking positive steps, you're taking actions, you're building positive habits in the direction that is in your personal growth. and and also a byproduct of that will be growing in confidence in the thing that you're trying to do. So, taking action, I speak about this a lot. Taking action, we have to combine our inner awarenesses with implementation, taking a level of action, and that gives us a reference point to move forward. So this might also mean stepping outside of our comfort zone. And stepping outside of our comfort zone, you have the comfort zone, and then outside of that is what I call the growth zone. The magic happens outside of the comfort zone. Where it comes back to what I spoke about before. We are here to become our best self, to master ourselves, to grow into the best versions of ourselves, and that's not going to happen in the comfort zone. The comfort zone is almost like it's not a very good place to stay, because it's just keeping people from their potential ultimately. So we might need to step outside of our comfort zone and doing things that might be a little bit uncomfortable but are in the direction of our growth. And also this brings me back to our mission and our purpose. If we're clear on that, then it's going to be clear that this activity, this action, is something that is going to be beneficial for increasing my confidence, for increasing my level of personal growth. So stepping outside of our comfort zone, it's one of those things where once you do it over and over again, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, you have a little bit of uncertainty, you get used to that feeling and you realize it's actually not as bad. So, you can see this with a lot of public speakers. A lot of the time, even if they're a professional public speaker, and I've heard some of them talk about this, there might be a level of nerves still within that. But ultimately, when you're nervous about something, it just shows that you care. It shows that you want to deliver, you want to provide value, you want to do whatever it is you're doing, you want to do it well. And this is not really a bad thing. So having a level of nerves, it means you're human. It means that you care in the quality of what you're doing, and obviously you want to do that well. But really, when we just continuously step outside of our comfort zone, it almost becomes a bit normal of experiencing that feeling of a little bit of a bit of nerves, a little bit of uncertainty, and that's fine, because we can't be addicted to certainty in all situations. Life flows, life moves, things happen. This is how it is. So ultimately, we need to look at where we want to go and move in that direction. And that might mean taking action or stepping outside of our comfort zone. But ultimately, that will come back to this is who I want to become, and this is the direction that I need to move into. So we also need to understand that a lot of the time, what holds us back, one of the big things that holds us back in doing something, and a reason that people don't think that they're confident in something, is because they care too much what others think. And like I spoke about before, is that everyone is dealing with their perspectives, their experience of life, and that's the level that they will project at, their level of consciousness, their level of awareness with life, and their projection is their way of dealing with that. So we have to understand this, and we have to understand that a lot of the time, the things people think and say, it's not to do with us. It's just their perception of that, and their meaning that they give things. But really, it is none of our business what other people are thinking. That is their business essentially. So we need to. It comes back to what I've said, is that once we get clarity on why we're here, and we step outside of our comfort zone, we're taking actions, we're moving, we're growing, we're effectively creating this new self-image, we're going on this journey of self-mastery, then caring what other people think doesn't matter so much, because you know why you're here, and you're effectively moving in that direction. So you have good intentions. Becoming your best self is always a good thing. So no one can hold that against you. So just by doing that, then effectively it's in taking those actions, it creates more confidence, and in itself will help you to stop caring so much what other people are thinking. So basically, everyone is trying to figure things out. We're all trying to do our best on our journey, and a lot of the time we perceive, this is coming back to other people, we perceive people who are successful to be happy. And this is the problem with social media. It indicates a lot of the good sides of people's life, but ultimately you want to run in your own lane. You want to tune into yourself, your own values, what you stand for, and by acting as a authentic expression of who you are, then you're effectively you're being authentic, you're giving your gift to the world, and this is what we need more of, not more clones of other people. We need, this is the beauty. This is how, we're not striving for perfection here. We're striving for never-ending improvement. And the fact that there's so many variables in life within people, and people's different thoughts, different beliefs, different actions. This is almost like this is the beauty of life. This is a good thing, and more people who are acting as a true expression of who they are, and more people who are giving their gift to the world. This is ultimately the thing that's going to help humanity grow. And also this, having this level of implementation is what gives us this level of increased confidence moving forward. So we just want to tune into ourselves, give our gift to the world, and this, by going down this path, we get a higher sense of intuition. We're starting along this journey of personal growth. We're understanding our mission. We're stepping outside of our comfort zone because we know that is something that's going to help us grow, and ultimately that's going to build our self-confidence, and we're going to be more confident in who we are. But, people often wait to do stuff. They're trying to wait for the conditions to be perfect for anything to happen. But taking a level of action is what will lead to a level of increased confidence. So just continue on this journey of personal growth will lead to a level of increased self-confidence. So